show to me comes from the fact that you're very detached and you take this approach of like, it's all silly and I want to be entertained by it, and you cross over into this like anger and contempt, and it's, to me it's hard to do comedy from that place.
Yeah, we don't want to be like that. It's all fun and games for us. Yeah. Honestly, we're standing on, as I said before, we're standing on the shoulders of giants. And we got people like Rogan and Shorty Pie and Ryan Joseph and Prison A Banana and all those people.
No, it is because like people have really kind of get pretty good numbers for the fact that like you know, but I'm a numbers guy, so guys do really good numbers for I don't know how many, but it always looks like people engage, and that's kind of another one of these cool things that I'll probably consider like here's how I think and here's how Brendan thinks, and I think the mistakes that led to us falling out are part of this, because I think when you're dealing with podcasting and social media, you have to cultivate and treat them like equals in a sense. You can't kind of think this like I'm just better than everyone, and that's part of what the read comments.
So it's like good morning,
your opinion doesn't matter at all. It feels like it's like, well, I've never gotten a tag from a comment saying, maybe you should. Right. Yeah, maybe you should get a hey, you're an asshole from the comments, or just some sort of like look for a repeating pattern. Pick up her comments and see like if half of them are people saying
beautiful stuff, really. Actually, I want to hear coming
I think you're 100% right about that. And that brings me to my first question.
It should be illegal.
Which a lot of cats are.
I was going to say, so begin by thanking all of our sponsors for this morning.
He doesn't read the comments. He doesn't do social media.
Annual comment.
Does he have writers that you don't have to say if you want to?
All the sugar crush as it's supposed. But the Soros fellows from Army Snow. I'm very responsible for the month of Adar. Harry is extremely loving memory of Harry's father, Dr. Harry Khan. Steve Hirsch, Ben Joseph, Cohen, and the Ziv Berman families of memory of Mr. William Ziv, Zev Schwab. And the songs of the Rabbi, we hope that the American Rabbi, the families in the Kamo, all of those who need a food, all of our homes, example, all of our state day. Let us be a big state test. You know, picking up definition of unpaid test. Which it says as follows. A here, complete video homework. The rector assigned some homework last night at the end of the year. If I don't start on the right topic Sunday, there's absolutely no chance. And plus, if you look ahead, we have some incredible ahead of us this week. So, gotta give myself a fighting chance. Says the Mishnah on page 89A. Even Mishnah is supposed to do again. We are still on the incredible sugya of the second numbers.
You almost have to read.
Same as Mishnah, so remember again, when we were already what type of
when you try to joke, it has to be funny.
The actual
college. It helped me kind of conceptualize like that a verbal joke at least hinges on this double entendre and the distance sort of between
initially the basis of discuss hypothesis.
One rule I have is like this way,
always that somebody's gay.
It's just like, yes, I like format to that and just go, I don't know, like, I think what open up his creativity is to think about,
Malin also
nature comedy, but then
take this up
realize she was introspective because I can't do that.
But with Sherman also at Harregel,
projection,
also Harregel. So what he is doing
this direction is
So
I'm
the
about
next
myself.
up coming like the next up coming one of the writing things that was
I'm surprised he has a therapist, but there's
remember again, this is the first job, the first
it's somebody I think like,
what is it
it's
reference to?
Your guy's name we can use.
Everyone's on his journey.
Great guy. He's really smart.
yeah, he seems like I only watched that one Cleveland Macy's thing.
During his phone. All he wants to see is these guys take out.
Never like, okay, let's go back, that's it, we're always traveling towards something next. The current is now behind us. So you're going to have to get to
I don't really like hot chips.
but now again, Bob Hashem, it's okay. There's something behind us.
Too much you have to teach
So again, it's the first thing you're going to see. The teacher is up in my brain. They are holding stuff. I was thinking that's right. I was thinking that's right. And the reason that's right, executing on your fascinating. Now, why? Why should it matter? You know, for the reason you don't want to make it. That's the possibility. If I need to be here, they will be here, and it's actually not probably the
People have to such a good question. I should have come back to that. Yeah, like, cause I know it will. I can't went through a few different things. And actually, to me, the Gringo Pop is a good name. Like, imagine especially if it was like the delve into like deeper stuff that kind of stuck maybe more to like actually exploring Mexican culture and how like music, right? Like, where there's gonna be times where we just break it down.
Everyone agrees that he's always
hilarious when you try to think of what it could have been.
They're going to the publicity component essentially is established by holding him until the Regal and executing him again on the Regal. And we just say, no, we don't do that. Let's say, we don't understand somebody brought it to that. Yes, we're not going to go ahead and at a time. Go ahead and execute him. So what we'll do is we'll send out letters. All the community saying he's going this by research. And again, that's how we go ahead and make the publicity, write about it, and we will send it out. We'll put this on those focus about how we go ahead and when we go ahead and execute it. Because they're not biased. Let's have a lot. Enemies also, globalization was not close to right. So it's pretty much equal to the right system. In the recent also, globalization should be up. So don't execute it. Globalization. Globalization should be out there. Not even if it's happening. Once again, Jason and Gaffney itself was exiled too. Hello, Marlon also the base of other cities. Rather, again, what do we do? It's like a number of the icon. And the shaman also Agaraga. And we wait to hold him, like holding himself up until the Yom Tiv. And we meet him also the Regal. And we execute him on the Yom Tiv. Then I follow on Vishnu, the hero, today that the execute. The positive, everyone will hear, and they will hear.
This special theme.
These are the words of Rabbi Akiva. So again, remember, Rabbi Akiva is actually called up. But even had a turn of every guy with the problem is also simple. When you're trying for the Regal, I'm going to use up. The go. Just because you say that they should hear and they should see. So the Akiva is making it out that people should see something on the execution. And you said that the positive say that they should hear and they should see. Although Ne'emar Elis Yishu, all it says is that they should hear and they should hear. That's the most important and it shows that. So essentially, again, the Akiva says that they should hear about it. As long as they hear about it, that's more than enough. Furthermore, again, why go ahead and delay his special? Dharma and Akiva shows that. Well, say, look, it's interesting that you understand this to be like, usually give it a big corruption of the thing. Something else, life is,
Here's what she actually looks like. She's like, looks like
every
she's in her
parent
50s. She looks like she could be late
that
40s.
the parents
Gorgeous,
always
like very
say
pretty,
over and
incredible
over
body.
and
Like she's a sexy
So
50-year-old woman. You wouldn't pick out of a lineup and say she's Mexican. You'd be like, oh, she looks like she could be like French, Spanish, Argentinian, something like that. Like there's nothing stereotypically Mexican about her besides a slight accent on top of otherwise perfect English. I want to talk about something like Spanish or English,
so much about taking whatever the current circumstances.
Just like this was all this time, like building up this joke, like she doesn't speak English, she doesn't write
The greatest anxiety in life is when you know that something negative is going to happen, but it's not happening now. I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's like, sometimes you're like, but then, I know what it's going to happen. I got it, you know. So you execute something right? So you got to execute. Definitely have to execute. But why would you delay it? What's the point? This wasn't serious for people before.
Honestly, it's we saw that, but it's because
you have to execute with Rachmanis. Now, to the world, that might sound like a little bit.
I think he either has to be in his mind, or we've just been talking.
Difficult to
see the documentary of the making of the study and all that.
Yeah, we want a documentary about
why delay? Like Pedro, we're going to say, Rabbi, I don't need to know something. I've been close to the shoulder of the Malcolm. He's cloning his high needs of the baby. And again, how do we fulfill the purpose? Right? That is, send out the letter. So-and-so is executed as something else. So those are, this is the one we're talking about. Rabbi Rothschild and Rabbi how we execute something. Okay, incredible. Those are guys. How about speaking after also? Now, because clearly, what you see with your memory is, it's not just how you execute, but this is
my questions I wanted to ask. As we all know, he was looking for a new, some
what
sort
is
of
it
social
that happens.
manager.
By the way, there are
I want to
four
know
other
how hard it is. Like, is there any chain
situations
mail
where
around
in
getting
general,
to the
it's not just enough to execute, but a public announcement has to be made. Who are they? Number one, Amasis. Amasis is the one who goes out and incites others to worship Avodah Zarah. Then Sorah Kimora, Sucking Mamre, and Eichel Solar. Interesting. All of these four lead hashras that we need announcements. Rashi says that they have Raza, quoting these, but these are Avra Berezu, Kedei Lirdos Ashafi. So literally, these are announced. So-and-so's executed because he has Avera, and all of this is done in order to make the public example that people should follow suit. The Gemara says, Kulu Ksivu, B'chol Ha'am, B'chol Yisrael. So ultimately, again, B'chol Ha'am. So like all of these creatures, B'chol Ha'am, the entire nation, will see. Interestingly enough, B'chol Yisrael, they will so mean, B'chol Yisrael, they will so mean Ksiv and Isharim, V'lo Koli Amot Chazmiz V'dasa. This was Sahad Yisrael. So it's interestingly enough, by Zorin, the Lashon is behind the Isharim. Those who are left over, right? Those who remain. Why doesn't it use the same expensive Lashon ultimately again as Kol Ha'am, B'chol Yisrael? What's the reason? The reason is because by Eidos, not everyone is fit for Eidos. Eidos is really cool. Why? Because they all said that some occasions they can gamble. They can't go ahead and do Eidos, right? Because it's not there. I can't go through Eidos, can't do Eidos. So because Eidos itself is not open to the public, therefore in the public acquisition also doesn't have to be, or is not as sweet as the other said. Okay, you can also say, beautiful, you want to start? So we each all of a sudden we've already done a whole Gemara. Great. Mishnah, Navi Sheker, Navi Sheker, don't say next guy is hiding himself. Navi Sheker, false prophet. Okay, so what is he? Hamisnavi Mashalo Shama, Mashalo Ne'emado. Don't say, so what's the Navi Sheker? So again, there are a couple of different examples of this. Number one could be a person who prophesied something that he did not hear. Okay, or something that was not said to him. That was an interesting example. So let's say again, I'm standing around with my friend that's Yiddish. A lot of stuff happens like Yiddish, right? So what happens? My friend gets in the door of Kiddush. By the way, many people think Kiddush is Kiddush, right? Especially by your third Kiddush. Suddenly I get your prophesizing against prophets, right? So again, so what happens? We're standing next to the way. Reuben gets in the door. Now it happens to be, it's a legitimate door, right? Case number one, I prophesied something that I did not say. Case number two, the devotional gave my friend the nevuah. I heard how that happens, right? I heard the nevuah, and I say it over. That's not my prophecy gift. That's not my prophecy gift. That also falls under the category of the umbrella of Rabbi Rothschild. In this case, you saw somebody else. These individuals, like Rabbi Rothschild, is executed by court. By court. Aval Kovish is nevuah also. So let's say this is fine. Kovish is nevuah also. Someone who sees nevuah or refuses to share it.
All he cared about was like making Brian
So
look bad.
sees nevuah
He's like, make
and
Brian
refuses to
bad.
share it. Or one who goes ahead and simply disregards, ignores the word of a Navi, or a Navi who receives the law, that violates the only word that he received. So all these cases, all these individuals again get into the Shemayim. That at the hands of heaven. That at the hands of heaven. Incredible. Shemar, Anochi Edrosh Miki. And the establishment of all those stuff. We can also get into all these pieces. The establishment of all those stuff. Somebody prophesies this with the name of an Abodazara. And whatever. So Omer Kaf, Omer Abodazara. And again, the person says, literally again, this is what the Abodazara says. Akidu Kivin es Habachot Hanei Satamei, Utar Esatar. Even if what? Even if what he's saying is factually correct. Now, let's say a person comes along and says, I hereby say in the name of Abodazara, that one is supposed to, avoid kindling a fire outside. Okay. Right? So, the Mishnah says, even though he's not saying anything wrong, and what he's saying is actually in line with what people know, the fact that he's giving it over in the name of an Abodazara, by definition, makes him wild. First culture, even Trinitness of the Trust of others, when Abapish don't live a lot. How do we say the first? So again, if a man has relationship with a married woman, even if this married woman has not just lived with her husband. So she had illusion, or they just got married and soon, but again, they did not get lived together. Halacha is Boel, the adulterer, is punished by terror. Someone made Bascoin of Allah, so ultimately again, it wasn't Bascoin is adultery, straight up. Remember again, that's unique thing for her. It does not apply to her adulterer, nor does it apply to so many, like giving witnesses who testify falsely about her. Shekal HaMuslimin, even though also means the Muslims don't have Bascoin about. In general, again, the way it works with the exception to this is anything is only by a fast coin. She gets the vote, but they, as well as the adulterer, will get credit. Okay, incredible. Let's analyze. Says the Gemara. So there are three things. These are all categories of false prophets. Three of them ultimately again are killed by a court, but three of them is missionary. Okay, so what are they? And it's not a marshal of Shama, who marshal of Ne'emarlo. Once it's ultimately again, the person goes ahead and prophesies something, I should say. It does a prophecy that was not said. There was essentially your inventing prophecy. Now again, this is prophecy in the name of the Baruch Hu, right? The person does some inventing prophecy, or they go ahead and they convey prophecy that was said to someone else but after them. Or Amishnavi B'Shem of all those stuff right? Amishnavi B'Shem of all those stuff or a person goes ahead and prophesies in the name of Abodazara, right? As I said before, even if what they say is factually correct, halacha is Sasan Ideal. All three of these individuals are executed by a human court. Kovish is one soul, and nothing is equal as well. So does not share it. On the back of the Navi, somebody disregards the word of the Navi. The Navi Shabbat, and Navi disregards his own prophecy. We saw the Israelites. Ultimately, again, their
Right, they're trying
death
to say,
is
he's
at
like,
the
oh yeah,
hands
we should
of
try to like
heaven.
this, and like
They will say,
he's kind of giving him like his brain, and his
this
brain's like,
idea.
oh,
It's
I'm like
not
a
a
business and
national
marketing
shama.
guy, so I'm trying to
I
get Anthony does like
understand
advice, but it seemed like
why. If
Anthony's
somebody
talking this way,
emphasizes,
and it's
person
kind of like,
says,
hey,
I
Brandon,
received
I
the
think you
vocal
got
motion
it.
and the vocal
Like,
information.
and he says that in like winks
I
out. I'm
understand
like,
what it is that he
that was
stuff.
Anthony just
Right?
like,
It
so
makes sense. It makes sense. You're inventing
you
prophecy.
fucking idiot.
I will say, but if I go ahead
Talk to me about
and I
it.
hear a prophecy
My
for someone else and I get it over,
the second
I
part of
understand
it
that it's
was
not
when I
good.
saw them
Why
talking,
is it
it was
give
kind of
me
like,
something?
hey,
Like, what's, I'm not making up new information. The information is factual. Information is correct.
No, okay, we'll see why it is. That makes me want to watch, 28 minutes of special. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but I wouldn't take that as like just release 28 minutes, because then people is like, well, it's because
golden life is never
watch half of it. I don't know, like, or if you take an average, it's like, well, maybe there's some that people turn off after 30 minutes because it sucks, and then people watch an hour. That doesn't tell me anything personally.
It's not mine. When I take that prophecy and I now make it mine,
correct. So all of a
that's
sudden, too, when I put on the Gringo Poppy, maybe he's onto something.
yeah, both of us trying to become someone else alike.
No, I watched the whole show. You guys watched it multiple times. So the final thing with the Justin was he's like, no, you should like argue with just like tell me like half of it. You still have your other
Trying
hour.
to become
And
other
Justin
people.
was very
You see
diplomatic.
other people who kind of
This wasn't
represent us
insult,
on
but I
the
like
level
how
of
he thought
success.
about it. He was
And
like,
then I want to be
actually,
that
like,
guy.
I do the
I
whole
want to
hour
be that
because
guy.
to me, each one
Now,
of my hours is like a
there's
novel.
something
Like, I'm not going to release half the novel. I was like,
People
yeah,
talk
like,
about
and it just, I think, showcases his artist mind about it. That he's like,
my hope is never to
I'm not going to
become
upload this. I can
someone
have
else.
this for the
So
road.
the solution when you speak in the Vua that was given to someone else,
But
you
just to
need
answer
your
your
own.
question fully,
That is the
there was
highest
many jokes
fundamental
that he's
level of
still doing in
personalistic
his set. And it's
application.
funny because like,
That
oh,
again,
wow,
my
it's like, but it's not.
outfit is
Yeah,
to me.
like, and
And
not
to
that,
be
I don't
the
think he's
best
shortchanging
version.
as far as time.
You
We'll go an hour
someone
20 or
else
whatever
is
and
the
try new stuff and have fun.
and
But
you
like,
make it your own.
there's definitely jokes. He's still doing the Gringo Poppy and that guy.
Because once they know that
Honestly, I don't even know what he's
you're
like.
always
I
going
was
to
in the
become
editing room,
someone else.
yeah, it's like
Like,
learning
there's
editing.
always
I feel
someone
like,
better.
well,
There's always
actually, I
someone
edited a
more
lot of this in
successful.
like
There's always
clips,
someone
like,
else.
this
That's
is
trying
a
to
good
be like
week.
other
Like, I was like,
people.
I don't know, this
So
is
others can be like
that's
trying
what
to
we get it
become
out
the
of
best version of
96.
yourself. Incredible. All right, let's go like this. Let's think about it. But
Just take all
so we know all
one
this stuff.
joke
I'm gonna do הנביא אשר יוזיף לדבר דבר בשמי. They will say so open the page and he will intentionally try to say something over my name. Who's that? Sam Mashlo Shama. That came up here and was getting over something that was not given.
And it's
Okay,
like this fat Mexican dude that paid $40, $10 an hour, and he stays for 6 hours or whatever. And like,
All the Chaverim
the whole
says
joke is
that I did command
he's all
you, not
coked.
enough.
Like, he goes into
So
the
what is that
bathroom and
referring
just
to? Zam
all
is
the
not a
Mexican
martial
cocaine, all the Colombian cocaine,
that refers
and
ultimately against the
comes
body
out,
for something that was not said.
the whole thing is kind of like
Elohim Achim, and he will go ahead and say something over the name of another God. Zam is not Michelle about this company. Therefore, for someone who prophesies, and
it's like a one-star review. It's like
Well, idolatry.
Spider-Man,
Again, we're also
elephant,
looking
like
for
it's
that.
like none of
Because
it
of that,
makes sense. Like they're
even
bringing this guy to here,
what?
like he's
Even if
overweight and like a Mexican day laborer for
what you are
Spider-Man.
saying
He like
is
drove 3 hours to come here.
open room about all the Sarah makes you liable to that. And all of these cases, what is about to say, who makes a Nabi happen to that, but we said, what the Torah stands in the elephant. I will say again, stand whenever the Torah says a death penalty, it doesn't identify which death penalty the default is. Can I good? We'll say that's not the story. Next, accomplish a show also. But the back out of the Nabi Sha'abrat, this is someone who prophesizes. Again, holds back his prophecy, doesn't share. Without their cars, words of the Nabi. Or number 3, a Nabi who violates his own. All these people are put to death in Yishma. You really know this. From Siv, La'ish Asher Yishma. The Pasuk says the first one after the Nabi will not listen. Haribei, Lo Yashmiya. So the Lord has not only Lo Yishma, but Lo Yashmiya will not make it heard. This is what? Holding back his own prophecy. The Kari Lo Yashmiya, the Kari Lo Yishma. El Divrei, Siv, Anochi, Edrosh, Nikimo, so again, In that one pasuk is someone who hears it, disregards it, cites someone who hears his own prophecy, disregards it, somebody else who hears the word of God, disregards it, and another ultimately again who is Kovic as Nick also does not share his word. And it's not a man Shalosh Shana.
Like it was like an argument.
And I think about some examples. We'll say, most of the rock is found out a little later. And it's not a man Shalosh Shana. The person prophesizes something he did not hear. So Gemara gives an example. Don't Sitya ben Kinana. Sitya ben Kinana. Sitya ben Kinana. The Siv, Bayan, Sitya ben Kinana. Harnei Parza. By the way, so this is the story of Navi. Of where Aram was attacking the show, and the line. So again, it's the king of Israel, righteous and generous, and but they realized that they have to form an alliance in order to combat that. So Yoshua was like, I'll go with you, but I need some prophecy to back this up. Because it's like the shtickle unholy alliance. Sometimes you need an unholy alliance to accomplish holy objectives. So I feel like Yoshua was like, I guess
screaming of curse words.
Aka produces.
Aka has got no show to be a very good MMA person.
Right? So in other words, Aka was producing coach with the prophets. And still Yoshua is not exactly convinced. So there was this other guy, Sitya ben Kana, which is being accused of having he fashions, he makes iron horns. And it was supposed to symbolize the fact that Kali was going to war around. We're going to be successful. Okay, so the Gemara says as follows. So my habit is, so again, so now, Sitya really deceived us. He really did deceive prophecy. But ultimately, what we're going to see is there's a strip of false prophecy. Because again, whatever the country was battle, Asa was battle, all of his movement was a country's way to war on the big battles that Asa would die in battle. So the Gemara says, my habit of the Abed, what George Bush's Sitya had done. So Sitya was deceived by a spirit. He was the spirit of doubles. So say that means remember, doubles had a beautiful figure, and Alpha very much loved it. So the Alpha double is so Alpha has a lot of fun with the saddle. The husband Alpha was that he brings doubles up on false charges. Doubles were executed, and ultimately Alpha
mentioned the road. There's questions about the road.
So what happened? So the spirit of doubles came back and kind of appeared to Sitya, making it look like it was HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in order to get Alpha to go out and battles that Alpha can go out of. Okay, that's it. Remember Hashem, me Yishakas Alpha, the Yah, the Yah, the Moskilad, Moskilad, Baruch put out a call, like the Shabbos. The Shabbos, who was willing to go down and pull Alpha into going to war. I hate that rock, I have one of the So the spirit came apart and said, I will go and entice Alpha to go to war. Sifta, they got two calls say, but also came, or the mind say, what does it mean that the prophet said to the spirit? It turns out to the spirit of levels. Go, same with Isasi. We have to, so it's definitely incredible. The Baruch was essentially saying to the Shabbos, whichever one of the Shabbos wants to go, you can go, but after you go, you can't come back. Why not? Because Java, his spirit was to deliver a false prophecy. That he always was all honest. All honest. And it's something that is not honest, and not designed to side of the empires of the Rikonos of all those last years. So ultimately, again, it was the spirit of Lamos who was there to avenge his death by Nisu out of his body. So that was the spirit that appeared to the city that I should have been a little bit more vigilant. Introduced Sigmund Echad Ola Lekamen. They created him as found as Sigmund Echad. So it's interesting to know. You can have many prophets that have the same prophetic message, but each of them get it in a different way. That multiple prophets were saying the same message, but
But
no
like,
two
he was
prophets.
convinced. Like the Thursday night show was like sold
That
out. And I
matter
showed up.
again.
It's like there's
Today,
20 people
the
here.
word about Kodesh Baruch Hu in the same way.
I'm not
You know, they're like, oh, that job, Zodom, Libach, Yisrael. Yirmiyah, Allah, Tzatzatzka, Yisrael, Zodom, Libach. But I saw again just examples of the idioms conveying the same general concept, but each of them receiving it and conveying it in a slightly different way. Those things, exceptionally very different.
Because
but it wasn't the law. The law represents almost like the highest level of religion of Kodesh Baruch Hu. So what is the Gemara saying? No. When you relate to God, when you interact with God, relationship, Baruch Hu is very. It's like nevertheless, it's a very. No, ultimately, as you sit here with life,
You think the earthquake is serious?
That's exactly the same thing. That's a pathetic red flag. It's simply to realize there's something going on. The Gemara says, so one second. Maybe Sidkia didn't know the same with the release. Sidkia didn't know that prophets can't have the same prophecy. Maybe she didn't know this halacha. The Gemara says, Yo Shafat Havahazam Shekama Lubu. It's still like Yo Shafat Ha'ein Paul Rabbi. Yo Shafat was there. And Yo Shafat didn't know how Yo Shafat said, there's something wrong over here. There's something wrong over here. Everyone is saying the same exact thing. It was like, I just want to point out how profound this is. So not only is it an incredible lesson in terms of like our relationship with God, but all of us can interact and relate to have a different relationship with Hashem. Let's say this is something like problem stuff. Sometimes if somebody's trying to attack Brandon, of course I would be helping out, and of course I would be, like, that goes for anybody in the club, really. That's what's happening over here. Was legitimate, like, concern on his end, and somebody's, you know, he does have hairs, and everybody would, like, friendly comments and that, but, like, I want you to do saying different things, and you're all of them sitting in the same room together and driving the other. That's actos. That's actos. We have this very skewed view of actos. That actos means like
you showed up to the club,
what does Rashi say that has Sinai? I want to go to Rabbi always said, one of people with one heart,
you know, that's kind of telling as far as like how he sees people. It's like, what do you mean? You have a free minute during the day, like give that to me, you know? Or like, oh yeah, why don't you do everything all at once?
That's crazy. But did you ever have to like do security in that thick boy? You like these thick boy fans?
Well, that thing is also like I used to wrestle. So when I wrestled in high school, like up against heavyweights, I was like a sparring. So like a big guy of like 270 or 300 pounds, like that's not intimidating to me. I should probably be scared of like if you like 180, why are you in a cauliflower mouth? This guy's probably like under trains combat sports or something like that. But if you look like a football player, like an old lineman, it's a guy with an old lineman.
It was like, and then what was so beautiful, is that afterwards, Hashem act like this one I forgot. It took it out 3 hours, but it was perm time, so not 30 seconds. You know, we have everything slower. Those you know what it was? That at the end, like, the way it ended, I don't know how, like, I don't know what it is, but somehow it started like that, and then about 3 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever it was just a symbol of joy. Like I said, I don't know exactly what happened, right? So, but the Lord said,
I can honestly say, like, not
isn't
if you
that what it's about? Isn't that what it's about? It's about the ability to help people, even if you vehemently disagree with them. It's about the ability to love people, even though they're absolutely unbelievably wrong, and love every single step of the way. That you think that what they are saying is the most uninformed, unintelligent, incorrect thing in the world, but I love you. But I love you. So when you see a bunch of people saying the same thing about saying, we like to surround ourselves. It's so boring. It's so people live like in an echo chamber. Like an echo chamber, a lot of them are uninformed, and a lot of them are incorrect, and a lot of them are just wrong. Feel free to see me after the show for all this repetition. Like, she does have positions are like, it's going to be free. Like, but I said, but so what happens? When you see hundreds of people, they all saying the same thing, something's off there. You're in a room with a bunch of people, and they're all saying different stuff.
Looking for a good
And
time.
practice is that moment when you can embrace, even after you have both siblings. All right,
There's all these stories that would bring you to a show.
remember that you cook honey. So what happens? So your shopper says, I need someone to be in. The Akbar says, why are you going to be in? Look at all these hundreds of guys that are here. So the Gemara says, Amalei, half of this was learning the days of the Abba. I learned this from my father. Signal Echad Oler B'Chamin Adiyah. The ancient in the deen is not the signal Echad. So ultimately, yes, what I learned is this. You could have prophets all espousing the same message, but they'll be about 5 lines up and above. Right? But they go, but none of them can give it over in the same way. They all get the same message, so don't give it over. The fact that Shopper is sitting there, and he's like, I just want to point out, these were not people who were idiots in the message, but remember, the whole thing was skewed because it was trying to wanted Achab to go out to work to fall them down. So Shopper's like, what? You guys are saying the same exact thing that doesn't make any sense. So therefore, again, Shopper needs to be okay.
There's this comics that
so much of people, good. I'm not a national organizer. What's the example of another? You go with something that was not silver. You go, can I get a puzzler? So she's like, can I even answer? What happened there? The cutting, Stereo was standing in the Amar, Koamar, Shem Tzavakos, and in his shoulder as Keshes. So Yirmiyah is giving a promise. Who's going to go ahead and break the ball to them. I'm going to break the ball in order to defeat them. Okay, so what happens? Nosach Hananya comes for the answer. So Hananya hears this prophecy from you, and he needs to come from the Miraculous, Lazarus, Bovel, and Miraculous, when you show this, like, so they came down Bovel. Who's going to say that he's going to break the bow and he's going to defeat them. And I'll have to come to the camera. I'll have to come to the camera. The final is coming to breaking the primary bow of God's stone. So he's going to break the secondary bow of God's stone. So can I get a couple of words? Because Baruch is going to go and defeat he's going to run this struggle. So what happens? Goes out and he prophesies Amar Hashem Shavarti as old Melech Baba. It's fascinating. So Kalani hears a prophecy of the prophecy, and he tells us a new prophecy. Only one is true. The prophet didn't say. Only from Abaye. I the Chaver and I'm going to what are you talking about? This is not new. Somebody would have prophecy. Harold made this up. Which the Lord says, came on this guy, have a phone with the message. So ultimately, again, the Hikmah late, moving for them away. Those are all going to get because of the because he's a Hikmah, and because the Hikmah is on the existential principles, where it's like a case of saying over a prophecy that was not given over. Okay, people, on the assumption of all this Republic, what's an example of all the prophesization in the name of prophecy? What's the last one? Keep going to the Habal. So this is the Habal. Going to the Habal. So again, Paul is like he had his own Nevi'im.
You can ask that first, but this is a correlation.
things that were not true.
I
That
watched
is
it.
good was
He's
most
really
incredible.
smart.
What's the example of opening old prophecies? We don't,
Like
Jonah ben
going in for the TV show audition and
Jonah,
having
right?
jokes like
Jonah,
it strikes me as a guy
what does it really runs away?
who
You understand what we're saying, also. So many of us are over.
You know, I think he's a thoughtful guy, and I relate to him. After met Mitch Drew, actually, it was funny enough, it's his good friend. I was in like this rain at like 10 before Tough Mudder, the Batman Drew came out.
Just like again, you know, it says every day past what makes it says.
We're sitting there getting ready for it, and I get this message on my phone. Somebody's like,
Every day a basketball comes
why'd
out
you
and
back out of
says,
this fight with Sean
and I hear this prophecy, and I hear this gospel, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? What do I do with it?
And then he links me to this Reddit post, and he like, it's this elaborate story, like,
Every day prophecy comes to us. Every day
PGO was talking shit online, so I told him, like, oh, fucking beat your ass, I'm like, blah, blah, and I'm coming out to LA, and he's like, yeah, let's do it, and he talks to Sean, and you're like, oh, Sean is actually serious, like, it was very elaborate, it was like a multi-paragraph story.
From the back of the video, who's the one? What's an example of going to kiss on the work?
So it's kind of confused, I'm like, but it's a bizarre thing, it's like, it's one thing that people talk shit about, just another thing, to have a kind of like, make up this, like, short story about you, in which, like, he challenges you to fight, and it's like, I wouldn't, like, he's a 6'7" UFC fighter, I'm trying to fight that guy in the street for free, and you're gonna be like,
people just do
So
that on
again,
YouTube
this
and
was
Reddit.
also one of the prophets was prophesizing
Reddit, they just make stuff up.
That
Just
story
like,
about
they make up a narrative.
Sid,
Right.
how come the narrative?
In retrospect, if what he was trying to do was like get to Brandon through God or whatever, like, you know, I can assign a number of different motives that are sort of acceptable to me. I don't know if he still does as a personal, but anybody that had anything personal against me because I was Brandon. So I don't feel any animal. It was a little weird. I was just like, Sean McCoy out there. He's like, oh, that dude's like hilarious, and he's like, he called him a bullshit. But it's true that he's very funny, but also he was like, oh yeah, he just makes some crazy shit all the time. So all right, I feel familiar with that. Yeah, so I posted him recently. Yeah, I guess he is my friend, but I think PGO
was commanded to go ahead and the story of your love of
100% fabricated. And he's always said he blocked me on social media. He was like, and then Mark blocked me. And I was like, oh shit, because when I click on your Instagram, like, it shows that you blocked me, and I still have the option to block you in other words. But
It's all Sean's fault. You know,
What is it that
he's
they
like, look, if I like this, how would he single me out if I was a
if you get close to Sean, you get confusion. So
Yeah,
you can probably smooth things over with the
Never again.
CEO.
Even once the
I
Lord
was with him, but he's a real
I think he's hilarious, and I hope that he can look at this situation like, oh yeah, like,
not to me, because he has the base on it. So what did he do?
just
What did he do?
I'm gonna get, I'm the kind of guy, like, if I feel like it's personally,
Yeah,
you know, and if not, well,
just I'm seeing
you know,
you a trip. You don't have to go ahead and go
I
all
think
the
if
to serve a
Sean
chef.
knew
Search
about
your-
me and Gerardo
search
personal
your-
lives, he probably the worst.
Ultimately, again, so ego.
But anyway, the question I was going to ask you is,
offering
what the food while he talks to me, is that like, or is it disrespect, or why does he constantly do that? It's sauce or something else.
well, you know, it's another one of these examples of something where
when you go, so go to your prophecy. Don't stop.
but not for the whatever butchering, but it's
focused
so
on
much, and, you know, and again, I'll use the narcissistic term over and over again because it's appropriate, but it's a set of rules for one person. And that's because he's very judgmental about other people. Every time
Somebody
I
likes
like say, you know,
he says, I'm sorry, I can't have a prophet of God on a mission.
like, I'm gonna go after this movie, like 6 eggs and a ribeye and a fucking potato and like mash on, like, you know, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of food because I'm 250 pounds and I lifted weights. You know, soaking off my nuts, not, you know, like if I'm having a second slice of lava cake at the improv, you know, like,
You got money for that?
every, like, I was like, you're trying to, like, shame me for eating like you're talking about, I was totally overeating. I really did. Any anytime like he kind of makes you just feel on edge with eating because all the eating is like connected to him. So like let's say like I'm gonna eat by myself, well like he doesn't give you more DMs. So if you're on the road, normally like any TV show or anything like where you do commercials, some people like they're giving you money for any time you're not on set to like cover your food. Yeah. Sean will pay for your food, so give him some money. Like he will take care of you when you're on the road. But it's kind of like, well, we're going to go to the same restaurant together. And what that gives us is the power to be like, dude, we're like, dude, slow down. Let's go. Please stop eating. Please stop eating. It's right shit because like we're in the improv. It's like, yeah, man, maybe I only had like a light breakfast and then I'm going to have 12 chicken tenders, you know? Stuff like that where it's like, I don't like, obviously, I don't eat that much or I'm getting fat. Like I made like binge eating is still kind of fun to me to do on a Saturday. It's like, yeah, man, I'm not gonna get plastered, but I might have like, some chocolate cake. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. But he like really, he didn't always have this good intention of like, he doesn't want you to get around him. Okay, he's not eating especially. Like he's got some weird hang-ups about eating. But then after the show, he's always like, let's go get pizza. I'm like, dude, I just like there's free food here. Or just eat it. And I think he just like it maybe because he's like nervous before or something like that. But like, it's always like. Any principle he has is like, I'm going to be gross, but if you said anything to him while he's eating, lights out. I wonder what his therapist thinks about drug diaries. Like, I want to do carnivore and keto and like Mark, but also like, there's a donut in the logo of my company, and I'm calling myself fat. The whole thing is aesthetic. That movie, The Menu, where they do this? I like to get other girls for cheers parts, but I don't like
got 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes
because I went into it too. I used to like, I would consider myself a movie buff, like, in the sense I love, who got into it late, but I was like, watching a lot of Netflix in my day. But I was going, I used to watch all these trailers. I really do like when I would like try to pick it out to get like 18 like discs of like a week or something like that. I'm watching this one in the morning because it comes in and then sending down. Like I'll send it out this and then I remember not watching the trailer, so I didn't know anything about it. And then just went. That was really surprisingly good.
Now, what's up with the 7 basket? The answer is nothing.
You were going to say something about the eating.
It would just be funny if at Food Truck Diaries they had a similar kind of thing. Like Brendan's crazy.
How exactly does everyone know that you help this? My master today, just giving him a cigar. And Rabbi is having it. How do you wife leave you?
What's the worst bomb you've seen?
So that's that question. I don't know if I've seen him like a roll about it. And he's still going. Maybe I would say this. They gave him the ability to change the mark, so they changed the mark. And he took a 100-day, 3 other modes.
It's again, not that that's bad or anything. Like, maybe there was a lot of people who come on after the shows and like tell shit. Like she was like got awkward.
I don't know.
He's sitting next to Jay at the heart table, and people are like,
"Well, second,
you're fucking hilarious. Brendan sucks."
I could
walks off.
change
Supposed to like standing next to his mother.
tell Yona.
Damn, name in the water.
Like Yona finds out everybody else
a killer. Like a lot of people don't realize because he's
probably not go ahead and
he's not been flash on social media, but he's a very authentic person.
Yona made Tara, didn't take that podcast.
I'm surprised.
Very important.
He's really good.
Yona said, but old are going young.
He takes this really professional approach where like he's acting involved. He'll add like little looks. He'll be like he makes like small tweaks to toward a better joke that might not be totally obvious, but like he watches his own sets. Yeah, it's better. Brendan does it crazy. And no, I don't think he watched his entire hour set like once. Like he only watches things to like post it. Like he's ready to post.
How was he after doing Can you remember like the night after I did?
It was fine. It was like crushed monumental achievement. Like, we did it because there was a lot of stress to get into it. This is going to hurt Brian. Times he was like, he's always been like, really leading. That was important. And he also said, like, he says some diplomatic things that I think I know, like, even if we can't discuss it directly, like, Brian's on the same page as me as far as seeing his faults, and that makes it a rash way from Brendan, but like, he gets it, he'll just kind of go out his way, like whoever won
as much as the world knows what we're going to do and how we're going to do it for us, our lives are just open and
historically has had different times in the human element to the
in another 40 days, this is the
he treats people like appliances. It's like, why is this curing machine working? Throw it out there, do it now.
It's up to you.
How stupid is he really? Like,
So
in the shop, everybody thinks he's really stupid, right? Is it like, he's just dumb, like a dumb guy? Is it safe for him to drive his kids around? Like,
Right, so I think, like, if you were to test his IQ, I don't think that would be, like, super exceptionally bad or something. Like, I think he would be average or above average intelligence. Actually, well, I would say, I'm safe to say he's maybe well above average intelligence. But the same thing is like George Bush or something like that. Like, where people go, like, oh, you got like a 12 30 on his SATs, where it's like, that's pretty good, you know, 600. Here's the specific commentary I'll make about that. Brendan is not a curious person. He has his very limited areas of interest. He watches a lot of reality TV. He watches, like, he's into, like, serial killers, but, like, a fascination with the world. He just not a fascination with geopolitics, a fascination with other cultures or religions or anything that really is, I would say, more abstract. Maybe like a Canadian side. That tends to draw people who are more abstract and philosophical because it draws very like, my thoughts are funny. And I like to reflect.
Why
kind
can't
of
listen to his father?
like my greatest benefit to humanity is like this sort of philosopher is very broadly categorized. I don't think Brendan has that, like,
the old man's lost it, right? That's what he should have said. That's what he should have said. So why was
there's
he
very
so
little curiosity and very little self-reflection that I would almost consider that, like,
right?
those core elements of, like, long-term success as a comedian is going, what do I care about? What do I think? Having metacognition, I guess that would be really there. We're describing, like, some of the deficits that people with personality disorders have and why it's very difficult for them to think about their own thinking. What you think? You guys already take for granted. Like, you think about your own thinking, you think about your emotions, you can kind of take this more objective perspective of, like, you know, and I notice it with your comments, you're like, on the show, there's an element of detachment that makes it more funny. Otherwise, you're not just, like, reacting and kind of getting fucking stupid. It's funny, it's like, you know, there's a thoughtfulness that I think, you know, it does a lot of comedy. With, like, takes the edge off of even something highly critical. It's like you're going, like, I didn't care, but this is stupid. You know, this is fucking stupid.
So what happens? So remember again,
the lack of curiosity, the lack of self-reflection, the lack of, like,
the crazy stuff. What is it?
wrong about something. Like, if you know me, like, I can tell. Well, somebody changed my political views over the years. You know, I used to be very anti-Second Amendment. Now I consider myself pro-Second Amendment because even if I have a set belief about something, I still want to continue to, like, learn about it and challenge it. And same with lifting even something I adapt. I watch like get those videos myself just to be like, what is it a cute or something? I'm just like, I actually like it. Like, over the years, I've changed the way I do even these very basic lifts. Because I've always kind of like, never mind the beginner or whatever this is, but it's true in the sense of, like, the moment you think your shit don't stick, when it's your next word, you kind of calcify. You know what I mean? Has to give an ocean. Once he thinks he has something figured out, like lifting, for example, he doesn't do anything right in the gym. Like, he's very strong in a lot of ways. He doesn't do full pull-ups. He doesn't do, like, proper, like, overhead press. You've never seen him do a proper squat. He can look at goblins. Right, like this all the way, like I listen, it's like everything's like a shortcut or a half-ass. He'll tell you, dude, I grew up in the gym. It's like, yeah, okay, I can spend the night in a computer lab for 10 years. Wouldn't mean I know how to code. If there was like a video of him doing half pull-ups, that would go viral.
How many missiles were fired from my gun? How many missiles were fired from my ass? In that one, one kid.
Right? But it's
Again, how is it
if
massive
we're
killing
also it's
movement?
competitive.
Everywhere.
Like if I'm going
Miracles
all the
don't
way down,
work.
then
The miracles like
it's like,
fireworks.
yeah,
But what
I
happens when you watch fireworks? What happens?
12
What happens?
with the same strings. But
Yeah,
so little, but like if you're raising your hips off the bar when you're doing ventures, like it's all like individually,
I am just
he might
going to
go,
become a
well,
better
I'm
person.
doing good,
Whatever
like
it
his
is,
incline
whatever
pressure
it
rating
is.
is,
You know what happened to
like,
fireworks?
4, 6
Watch
inches
it.
from his chest.
It's
Now,
entertaining.
that's
It's
cool.
like
If
see
you
all
feel
the
like your
videos,
shoulder
all the
hurts,
videos,
but like,
all
a lot of
the
times it's not that they're trying
what
to
happened?
weight
What
down
happened?
and convince
It was
themselves,
like
whereas I'm more a
change
proponent of like,
doesn't come from
go way lighter if you need to and actually strengthen yourself in the extreme ranges of motion. Go deeper than you need to. And that actually prepares you better. It prepares and strengthens your joints better for doing full range barbell movements. I don't think the weights here because they're
No.
I have this almost like ready to do something is how you do everything. Exactly.
Glorious work, day in and
contract, and I get a lot of patience because I've worked out with many people in the gym. But like, it also kind of gives all this here as a second as a growth energy. Like, if you try to
yeah, that's awesome. Now there's not really there.
I had to try and not because like
watch this.
if somebody like,
But now that we mentioned,
I remember as a personal trainer that kind of taught us like I used to work in the valleys like 2007 and college.
Because he was Muslim. So he was up there, yeah, kind of like the things that's I know.
Talk to me. It's like, all right,
After 9, that's
the
the one.
gym.
It says it was after these things, going to check that. I'm listening to the Akiva. Afterwards, I'm just going to show you the zero. After afterwards, it's not the one who's trying to do this directly. Like, he got my yellow, but he got out. Plus, he was like, he's stuck the boy got up and he grew up and he was
kind of has this
I remember he was
professional attitude towards lifting and
how much such a living
I think he's a really good like
something said to the publish over something said
pop culture, but like
something the first time
he's
he
into the
was
things
started
he's
like
into.
this old man so Kanato when they were showing up we got them he gave him a chance to be old because he was also not how you look for effort
like in the exact
something says property he just old man so much and all these schools they made they offered you up a whole car it was never even like a pigeon a turtle dove nothing yeah that after that little bird nothing
I wanted to clarify that. Maybe I want to clarify something because we talked about. I think we talked about the dick picture joke on a previous podcast. And I didn't know that you were married at the time. So just that. Not okay.
Right, there's like 6 different levels to it. It's like you're sending terrible dick pics, but maybe you're
but it's messy.
Right?
So sometimes
use my phone.
so I'm not So this is it. This is
like 3K a month photography, and like, but then it was like,
basically,
that was
it's
another
the
guy,
value of your
like,
in this
but like, great promise. Like having average, I told you I'm gonna spend the rest of the day editing clips for TikTok. Like I'm gonna post it, but then I kind of find out later. You know,
if you do this,
$1,000,
yeah, that's
300.
but if you fail, you fail.
How expensive are they? I wanted to ask a couple questions. So for with Brian Callen, right? Yeah. On the AMA, I had a knows what he's doing, exactly. And he's a student. He's overarching thing on Brian. I mean, he has some issue with him. We had a fight companion. There was happening in the change. I was wondering